Hi, ladies. I'm so happy to finally be back and just chatting with you guys about this. So, today I really want to talk about moving in with a guy before marriage. What I think, whether it's a good idea or not. But before we get into that, I really want to talk about dating multiple men because I realize that so many women, when they meet that one guy who they connect with, they built up this connection, whatever, they're like, why should I go date other guys? I feel like I'm going to get what I want out of him. Just know, I personally could care less what you do with your life. If you decide that you want to just date him without getting a marriage, that's completely up to you. But just know that if you don't end up getting what you want out of this guy, you better not lash out at him. You better not get upset with him because all of it is 100% your fault. All of it. Because you, instead of, the thing is that yes, a guy might show you he has high interest. He might tell you that, yeah, I can give you this, like, I just need more time, yada, yada. But you never know because one day he might want something serious, the next day he will be like he might disappoint you. And you should have enough experience by now to understand that men come with disappointment. Like they just disappoint. That's all they do. I'm sorry, that's the reality. So, personally, if you think you're going to get out of him whatever it is that you want, go for it and wait around, but if you're not getting it, it's your fault. It is 100% your fault. If your goal is to get marriage and he didn't give you that, it's 100% your fault. If your goal is to move in with him and not pay bills, and you are being faithful to him, and then he doesn't give that to you, it's 100% your fault. Why were you dating only him? Why are you not dating other men? I know how hard it is to have a roster of men. I really do. I know that it's not easy to date multiple men, especially when you don't have feelings for them and then having to keep up with them and having to see them, especially when you don't care about them. So, in my opinion, like if you're looking for a husband and you're looking to get married, you should find a guy who you are actually interested in. Like you should not be dealing with, it really just depends on your goal. Like if you're happy with being with a guy who's boring, and he has he just has a lot of money and he owns a mansion or whatever, then you do what you want. Like do whatever makes you happy. But just know if you have a goal and now you're being faithful to a guy who hasn't yet given you whatever your goal is, 100% your fault. In my opinion, it's extremely important to at least have a side guy because men always come with disappointment. Always. So please, like, instead of, getting upset and saying, oh, I know what I'm doing, yada, yada, like, do what makes you happy. But please, like, I do not want to get any more DMs about women saying, like, I was only faithful to him and he promised me that we were going to move together. He promised me we would get married and we still haven't. Why were you not dating other men? Why? Like, I don't understand. You could have gotten that from maybe somebody else. Why were you not dating other men? I'm not saying that you should have 7 guys on the side because it's impossible. I don't understand. Apparently I've heard of women saying that they have like 7 different guys that they're seeing. I don't know how they're doing that. I guess it all depends on your goal. Like maybe if you're a sugar baby, maybe. But if you're looking for a husband and to have 7 guys, it's I don't know. In my opinion and in my experience, like it hasn't been possible. For other women, maybe it has. But honestly, if you're not dating multiple guys and you just decide to, be faithful to one guy and be with only one guy without even getting a title or getting whatever it is that you want, your fault. And look, if the reason why you're not dating other men is because you feel sorry for this man, like let's say the man that you're seeing is, spending money, putting in a lot of effort, so you're like, I feel bad, I don't really want to go see other guys. Look, and this is a true story. This is something that happened to me. There was this one guy that I was seeing. He put a lot of effort, literally messaged me every single day, called me every single day. He was not cheap at all. I was honestly thinking at this point, I was like, this guy is obsessed with me. Like, he is so in love with me. He's not going nowhere. Like, I am sure that I'm like the only girl he's seeing. I am literally the best of the best. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is actually what I thought. I was like, there's no way he's seeing somebody else. Like, I am like up there for him, And then I just remember that one day when I was seeing one of my girlfriends. She brought over her friend that I've never met before. And her friend was telling me how she went out with this guy and he was great. Then I asked for his name. Turns out we've been dating the same guy. Small world, quite a coincidence. But So I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. And I don't even remember why I did this, but I just remember telling her, like, I remember I was like, first off, she was super chill. Like, I did tell her, like, yeah, I dated him too. It wasn't anything. Like, I personally didn't really care. I was just surprised that he was dating somebody else because I was like, this guy's so all over me and sees me so many times. Like, how is it possible that he calls me, messages me every day, and then he even had the time to go see you? So basically, I remember when we talked about it to her, like when I talked to her about it, she messaged him and she asked him, like, oh, hey, by the way, like, are you seeing anybody else? And I remember and this is when I was there, I remember he replied to her and he said, well, I'm single, so I'm able to see whoever I want. All good, doesn't matter. Listen, personally, I can't even get mad because even while I was seeing him, I was seeing other guys as well. So I was like, okay, cool, just a surprise to me, you know? And eventually I decided, like, after a few dates with him, like, I just decided, I'm like, that's it. Like, I kind of want to cut it off. Like, I'm just not even about him anymore. He just started to annoy me. So, and plus I met guys who were way better than him. So it was just an easy way to cut him off. And I just remember when I messaged him and I told him, I was like, listen, I decided to be more straightforward with him. And I just told him, like, listen, I met somebody else. He messaged me back saying, I said to him, I said, hey, I'm sorry, like, I met somebody else and I'm just letting you know because I respect you, which I did. I truly do respect this guy. It was just enough. I had enough of him. And he replied back to me saying, if you respected me, you would not be dating other men. I'm not even kidding. This is a true story. This actually happened. Now, this guy doesn't know that I know that he's been dating another girl. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, these guys will literally go to that extent to make you feel bad for the things that they do. And I didn't even say that I know. Honestly, I was just like, I don't even care. Like, I was just, this shouldn't be a surprise to me. I don't know who I thought I was, to think that I was the only girl he's dating, to think that I was the only girl he wants. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that I should have known already. With, like, all the experience that I come with, who do I think I am? You know, like, that's basically what went through my head. I was just like, come on, you should have known this. So, ladies, honestly, I'm not saying that the guy you're seeing is seeing other women, but he could if he wanted to, and you can't get mad at that. So if you're sitting there, no offense, being stupid, being faithful to him, when you don't even have whatever it is that you want, and I don't believe in girlfriend, boyfriend. Really, I don't. So I will tell you when I do believe in being boyfriend and girlfriend, because I do remember somebody asking me that, so I will get to that in a bit. But, like, if you're gonna be boyfriend, girlfriend, and you guys don't even live together, it's just dumb to me, in my opinion. I think it's a complete waste of time. I don't understand it, and, you know, do what makes you happy. And honestly, there's a huge debate on whether you should bring up to a guy that you're dating other men, whether you are or you're not. But I just think it's stupid to bring it up. I know I've told some women that yes, you should bring it up, but you should know when you're going to bring it up. In my opinion, and in my experience, guys don't like to know that you're dating other men. Especially if they're spending their time, money, and energy on you. They're going to be like, well, what am I spending all this on you when you're dating other guys anyway? He doesn't need to know. He really doesn't need to know. Like, if anything, if you mention it to him, it just sounds like you're trying to purposely make him jealous. For what? What are you telling him for? If he's single, you should assume already that he's dating other women. And if you're single, you should be like, he should already assume that you're probably going to see somebody else. That's all. If he truly wanted you all to himself, he'll give you what you want. Okay? He doesn't need to know, and if you are going to bring it up, know when to bring it up. There's always the right time to bring it up, and I would say that bring it up when you know he's not going anywhere. When he's already trying to mention, like, being serious. You get what I mean? Like, if he says, if you want marriage and there's no way you're having a relationship, and he starts saying, let's be in a relationship, maybe then you can mention, okay, like, let's continue dating. And if another guy proposes to me and I say yes to him, of course I'll let you know. That's already putting into his mind, okay, oh my gosh, like, some other guy could have her. You get what I mean? It's important for a guy to be in a competitive state. It's important for him to know that other men want you. And it's important for him to know that you can easily be, not easily, probably not the right word, but there could be another guy who could take you away from him. It's important. But don't just like out of nowhere start telling him that you're, seeing other men, yada yada, because he's gonna maybe even start assuming, okay, I'm spending money on her and she's not even sleeping with me. What if she's sleeping with those other guys? You get what I mean? Don't put these things in his head. And it's really important for me to also mention, like, try not to sleep around with them. Depending on your goal, like, obviously, if you're, it really just depends on you. It depends on where your goal is, in my opinion. If you're looking for a husband, avoid sleeping with them as much as possible. Avoid going to their house as much as possible. Avoid bringing them to your house as much as possible. Because trust me, you'll get closer to what you want. If you want him, like, in my opinion, since I already talked about this, I guess I'll just say it now. Boyfriend and girlfriend, in my opinion, can only happen if you guys live together. I don't understand people who don't live together and they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, do what makes you happy. I truly could care less. I just don't think it's worth it. It's only worth it if you're living at his place and it's rent free. You get what I mean? Like, that's the best way. But, yeah, I don't understand boyfriend and girlfriend, especially when he's not paying your bills and he's not, like, what's the point of that? If you're just going to be a girlfriend and he's taking you out on dates, he would be doing the exact same thing even if you guys weren't dating, and you could have been dating other men, and now you got, like, different men basically taking you out on dates, which is what your boyfriend's doing anyway. So what was the point of that? Like, why have one guy who's doing all of this when you could have, like, 5 or 7? Just saying. I'm not saying you're going to have all 7 men at the same time, but you get what I mean. Like, in general, boyfriend and girlfriend is great if you're living rent-free, but that marriage has to come in. You know what I mean? Like, it's very important. So, obviously, if you're seeing that, okay, you're living rent-free, so you are benefiting from it, but it's not moving to that marriage stage with you're not getting married by the time that you want, you should really start getting a little bit more concerned. And honestly, I'm seeing so many stories of women putting up with guys that they don't want to put up with. And again, it depends on your goal. I don't know who's listening to this, but a lot of these guys are not worth wasting your time on. I don't care if they come with money. I don't care if their family comes with money. It's sometimes honestly not worth it because they're just going to stress you out. And I'll give you guys a story about me. This happened super recently. I was dating this one guy. He's a doctor and comes with money. Whole family are doctors. Like, really, I was happy with him. He did everything perfectly. Everything perfectly. Until up to, I believe it was, I don't remember what date it was, but it doesn't matter. Everything went really well with him, and I thought, okay, this guy's serious. Everything's going well. And then he just wanted, I don't know, the day we were supposed to have, he wanted to do it last minute, and I'm very iffy about that. Like, I need to know at least beforehand because this date might not be worth my time. And it started to make me angry, you know what I mean? And I tried to, like, keep it calm, and I told him I canceled the date on him, and I told him, listen, I don't like last minute dates. I said it in a nicer way. I can't remember exactly how I said it, but I did tell him, like, I'm a woman and I want to, make sure that I wear the right thing for you. Something like that. Like, I made it sound well. Okay, I can't think of it on top of my head what exactly I said, but he said, I completely understand and I apologize and let's reschedule and it'll be more planned out. Now, when the day came, he also didn't plan it out, and then I told him, I cut it off. Like, I just told him, listen, this is not going to work out. It's done. You know what I mean? And I don't know, so many women I know would put up with this because he has money and he's a nice guy. And in general, he is very interesting, but it was just not worth my time because I already explained to him in the first time that it wasn't making me happy. And that should have been more than enough for him to understand, like, okay, I could lose her if I do this again. He either is super stupid or he just doesn't care about losing me. Regardless, it doesn't matter. I cut it off. And super weird, but like on that same date, I ended up going on Tinder and I ended up finding a guy who took me out exactly to that place that I wanted to go to that the other guy didn't, like the doctor didn't. I remember I wanted to go to this one Italian restaurant and he didn't tell me yes or no, so I cut it off because I was like, I don't need no last minute dates again. Like, I have a life. I'm not gonna wait around for you to tell me what we're gonna do. So this other guy that I was supposed to see right away, he suggested going to the Italian restaurant that I wanted without me even asking for it. You get what I mean? And we've been seeing each other for a while now. It's getting quite serious, so hopefully we'll see where that goes. But I'm just saying that sometimes you will find somebody even better. I ended up finding out right on that day. As soon as I canceled on the doctor, I ended up finding another guy who makes even more money, comes from an even better family. You get what I mean? So you never know what else is out there. So don't ever think that you're stuck putting up with these kind of things. Like, if a guy's stressing you out, making you sad or making you mad, whatever it is, these kind of emotions, they give you wrinkles, okay? You're gonna get wrinkles from them, you're gonna get old, you're gonna age. It's just not a good feeling to have, and you're not gonna feel good about yourself. So don't ever think that you have to put up with it. And I know that so many people are like, well, oh, what do people say? Like, money doesn't pay emotions, something like that. I don't know. I'm sure that you guys know what I'm talking about. I hope so. There's something about like emotions don't pay or something like that. I don't know. I've seen it everywhere. But in my opinion, like, if something is stressing you out, something is making you angry, don't bother with it. Like, you are nobody's mom. You're not supposed to be teaching these guys. You tell them once. Okay, but you make it sound like nice. You obviously don't tell them, I am so tired of this. This is so rude, yada yada. Like, make it sound like you actually want to put it, like you care. They should, it hard to say. I need to find that conversation so I can give a better explanation. But like, if the guy is making last minute dates, you should explain to him like, listen, it's just very hard for me because I have other things that are going on, and of course I really want to see you. And like, you tell him that you also want to know what you're gonna wear for him. You get what I mean? Like, you make it sound like it's also about him, so it's not just about you. In that way, I should have looked for an explanation, but I hope that you guys get what I'm trying to say. Now, when you're dating these guys, you honestly have to make them feel like they won't find another woman like you. Are they gonna date other women? Yes, but you have to be that woman that even when they're dating those other women, he constantly thinks about you. You are that person that he's willing to cancel plans on other people just to be able to see you. You get what I mean? And trust me, gosh, like, I wish I could just like scream this a million times, but the competition isn't high. All these women on Instagram who are claiming to be part of this femininity group and teaching other women game, most of them don't even apply these things, okay? Most of these women are single AF and they have no experience with men. Okay, they probably just read some things off a book and then they reshare it on Instagram. I'm telling you, the competition isn't high. I have spoken to men. I've asked them about these things. I'm talking about like the guys that I'm friends with, and I'm hearing these stories of these women that they're dating. These women are crazy. Like, no, just no. So I'm telling you right now, make him, like, it's not hard to make him feel like he's never gonna find a woman like you. Not a lot of women, look like women, talk like women, dress like women, smell like women. Like, just even like your nails, it's really important to have them. I'm not saying have them super long. I know that a lot of the guys told me they don't like those like Cardi B nails. But have them either short or long enough so that like you can feel the nails running across the skin. Because they love that. That reminds them that, oh my gosh, I'm with a woman. Like, you need to do these things to remind them that you're the woman. You get what I mean? Like, when you're like kind of like running your fingers across him and like he feels the nails or whatever, they love that. They love that. They love that when you're nearby them, they can smell the scent of a woman. Like, you have that perfume on. They love seeing you and you're wearing things that a man can't wear. Like, these are super simple things that a lot of women don't do. I see it all over Instagram. I don't know, my Explore page is full of women with high heels and dresses. I don't see them outside. There's not many women who actually dress like that. I don't know where those women are from. But I don't see a pack of women like that outdoors. That's all I'm saying, because that's my whole Instagram page, and you would think that that's what the outside world looks like. You go outside and you don't see many women putting in that much effort into themselves. I'm saying that it's honestly not that hard. And another thing that I want to mention is don't bring up like that you come from a toxic family or all these things that you've suffered from, like, especially not in the beginning. And honestly, I don't know what it is, but people who come from healthier families, and I know this sounds super bad, but people who come from healthier families are just a lot more attractive or wanted. And it's completely like, I'm not saying that if you come from a toxic family or I don't know, maybe you didn't have your mom in your life or your dad in your life, that there's something wrong with you or it's your fault. It's not. This is like completely out of like your control. I just don't think that you should be bringing it up, because there's definitely something about women who come from healthier families that men want more. It just, most likely if you come from a good family, you're more likely to be a healthier woman. And people who come from toxic families have a lot of issues. And that doesn't mean that you can't like learn from that and become better. I'm just saying that if you have learned from that and you have become better, you don't need to repeat your suffering. You don't need to start telling them about all these things that happened to you, because sometimes it can be turned against you. Like if you say that your dad wasn't in your life, some of them will start saying, some of them will feed you the things that they think you lacked as in your childhood, and then it gets too complicated. Like this is all like psychology and stuff, but this happens, and I've heard of guys who do this to other women, and it's so sad, and like it actually drains me. Keep your life super low key. I know that it's not like if I know that it's not the easiest thing to lie about when you come from a toxic family, and then now you're telling him like, no, my family is great, when really they're not even in your life. But it's better to keep it low key. Like it's better to not tell them, because I've heard the things that some guys do, and like them pretending like, oh yeah, I also came from like I had a terrible dad and I don't want to be anything like him. And this sometimes does to people, like this does something to women's head, where like they just feel like there's a connection and really he's just lying to you. So don't start bringing up like these sufferings. Don't bring up like toxic families, health issues, like things that aren't really needed to be known about. Like learn how to keep some things to yourself, because believe me, a lot of the things that you give out, people can use against you. So you have to be very, very careful. What else did I want to mention? Oh, I wanted to mention as well, if you are the type of woman that wants to be a housewife or be at home and you're not about that work life, what I realized also like works most of the time is telling them that your mom is a housewife. Like eventually a guy will ask you about your family and ask about your life and your childhood. You should bring that up. Like if that's what you want, if you bring up the fact that your dad was a hard worker and he took care of you guys, and your mom was a housewife, most likely the man that you're with will understand, okay, this is how she grew up. This is most likely what she will want out of me as well. So now that I kind of finished talking about, dating multiple men, things that you should and shouldn't say, let's also bring up the fact that us women, we have so much emotional baggage that if you're only dating one guy, if you're only with one guy, you're literally throwing that whole baggage at him. And how are you surprised that he wants to leave you sooner, or that he wants to see other women, when, like, first off, he doesn't even have a title with you, and here you are throwing all those emotions at him. If you're seeing other guys, you can at least throw your emotions, to each one. Throw that baggage to each person. You get what I mean? Like, it's not just one full baggage onto one guy. So I also don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair for a guy to have to deal with all of that when, like, you guys aren't even a thing. You're not even married, or at least moved in together. And honestly, I see nothing wrong with moving in with a guy. I know I've heard a lot of debates of women saying you need to marry and only then you move in. I'll tell you my opinion on it. If I'm with a guy, we're going on dates and everything, the only way there's girlfriend and boyfriend is if we move in together and I'm not paying bills. That is the only way. But there has to be a goal. Like, when are you expecting to get married? Because listen, 6 months, a year is max. 6 months is how long it takes a guy to know. So it really just depends on you. How are you willing to wait that long? Are you going to be really upset if within 6 months to a year you don't get that? Because there's a chance that you won't. There's pros and cons to it. Look, if you move in with the guy before being married, you'll be able to tell if you guys are compatible. It is much better that way, because yes, you'll be able to know if you're compatible to live together, instead of having to straight away marry him and then realize that you guys are not compatible, because it's very hard to live with a person. I mean, I've lived with guys before. It is not easy. Like, seeing them every day, hearing what they do in the bathroom, like, no. So honestly, it is in a way smart, but at the same time, it's not, because if you do live with him, now you're stuck kind of being faithful to him. And then if within 6 months to a year you're not getting that marriage, you're the one who's going to get upset that you've wasted your time. When this whole time, if you guys were to just date, wait until marriage, you could have also been dating other guys. And then if you didn't get what you want, you wouldn't care because you've dated other guys. So this is really up to you. You need to know yourself. You need to know where your goal is. Look at your age and see like what works best for you. I know people who lived with a guy for 5 years and then eventually got married. I know girls who lived with in 2 months and got married. Like, everyone's different. There's exceptions to everything. I know even some that have lived together for 10 years and the guy was like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to be with you anymore. Anything can happen. It really just depends on you, what kind of risk you're willing to take, and whether it's worth it for you. But I personally see nothing wrong with, if you live with a guy and he pays all the bills, because honestly, you're saving money. You're going to be able to see if you're compatible. And if, let's say, I was in that situation, let's pretend, okay, let's say I'm now living with a guy. I let him know that I am expecting to get married, and he said, okay, but let's see if we're compatible first. Let's live together. I'll pay all the bills. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, no, listen, if honestly, I would have a certain time period that I want to get married by, and if he's not giving it to me, I'm gonna let him know, listen, I feel like we're not going anywhere further, and I would move out. I will tell him, let's continue on dating. I don't want to live anymore. Like, I don't want to live together anymore, and I'm gonna move out, and I'm gonna start dating other guys, and I'm dating him as well. Hopefully he likes me enough to propose, but if not, then not. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'd be okay with it, honestly. I know some girls that wouldn't. Like, it really just depends on you. Now, let's say you're already living with him. He's paying all the bills. If you don't have kids, and this is completely up to you, if you want to stay at home, stay at home. But in my opinion, if he's paying the bills, I'm still gonna go work. I'm gonna still save up extra money. And why would I care? I'm not paying for him anyway. I'm not paying the bills. It's more money for me, and it's good. Like, you get to save up more money. And look, if you're at that point where you don't want to work, and let's say you're already married, I remember this one old lady. Oh, I love her. She was hilarious. She told me all these tricks that she did on men, and especially on her husband. Her husband's rich. This woman, I'm telling you, the best 50-year-old gold digger I've ever met in my life. She's hilarious, but she told me that at this one point, like, he wanted her to work. I can't remember exactly why, but she started telling him about how, like, she just told me all these things that she did. Like, she would tell him that she can't, she doesn't want to go to work. Like, basically, here, I'll tell you exactly what she did. She told me that when he came home, she started being sad. She started, like, doing these fake tears, and then he would ask her, like, what's going on, but she wouldn't tell him. And then after, like, 4 days of her coming in sad, he was like, come on, like, please just tell me what's going on, let's talk about this. And she told him how men are harassing her at work, and she said how tired she is because every job that she goes to, there's men harassing her and constantly trying to flirt with her. Some of these men are married, and they're even buying her flowers and coffee, and how tired she is of it, and how she feels uncomfortable going to work. This already, like, puts him on a protective mode. Okay, guys are selfish. They want you all to themselves. They don't like hearing that there's other men, especially at your work, that want you. Because it's kind of like he might lose you at this point, So this worked on her. I've even heard of other women who made, like, fake texts. Their friends would text them, and they would change their name, and then whoever they're with, it basically thinks that there's another man messaging her. She just tells him, like, yeah, he's from my work, he won't leave me alone. And, like, these little things cause jealousy. Even, like, if you send yourself, like, flowers and you write from, I don't know, Dan, and Dan happens to work with you, and you're just like, I don't know why he's sending me flowers. Like, I just wish he would leave me alone. Like, I just can't go to work. I'm so tired of it. Their men are constantly harassing me. Like, little things like that. This works all the time too. Like, it's honestly, it's not that hard to be at home. The only way a guy would honestly not allow you to stay at home is maybe if his mother is, like, super, like, career woman. So he's gonna be expecting the same from you. If he's cheap or broke, obviously he needs you to work. If you're a trophy wife, like, if a guy sees you as somebody who's out of his league, this wouldn't even have to be a conversation. A guy who sees a woman as his trophy wife, who sees a woman as his dream woman, he will never have the nerve to tell her, listen, I can't make ends meet. I can't keep up with the bills. You do know that you're going to have to work. No guy is going to look at his dream girl and tell her that. If a guy looks at you and tells you, you're gonna have to go to work when you don't want to work. You're not his dream woman. You're not. I mean, gosh, like, I'm so sorry, but like, listen, don't let that like upset you or anything, but like, work on yourself. Don't be one of those women who don't take care of themselves, because those women, and I truly believe in this. I don't believe that all women are queens. I really don't. If you're not a woman who takes care of herself, if you're not a woman who tries to make herself better, you're not a queen. You're not. You don't deserve that treatment. You don't deserve a man who will take care of you. You are, no offense, you deserve to be treated like a man, because, no offense, but that's kind of what you are. Like, how, no, I just don't understand women who don't take care of themselves. I don't understand women who don't work out. I understand that sometimes you have some like complications. Maybe you have problems with your knees, so you can't run or whatever, but find ways around it. Find ways to make your body look the best shape possible. Look at your face. What are things that you can fix? It doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to go get plastic surgery. There are plenty of ways to make yourself look better. Your eyebrows can change your face completely. Really, I'm telling you, like, there's so many little things that you can do, add on, or work on to make yourself look better. I've seen women who have the most like average face ever, but they really know how to dress, and that alone gets them very successful men. I'm telling you this. I'm not trying to say this to make other women feel better. I'm worked in places where there's like buildings and places that full of successful people, and I've always watched what kind of men, like what kind of women men approach. You don't have to be like the hottest woman alive, but weight is a problem. I'm sorry. Usually women who are bigger just don't get those kind of men. It is rare. I don't know if it's I have not yet met a woman who's in a bigger size who has a man who fully provides for her. I'm sure there is. I'm telling you from my experience personally, I have not yet met that. I'm telling you right now that anything that you're insecure about, try to work on it. Obviously, some things are completely beyond your control, but when something is in your control, work on it. Like weight, for example, you have control over that. Really take care of yourself so you can be that trophy wife. Not only will you feel good about yourself, you're going to get exactly what you want out of men. Not pointing you, turns his back on you, you can easily replace him with another. Please don't ever be those women who don't take care of themselves. It's so important. I can't stress this enough. I will literally say this to the day that I die. Women, you have to look after yourselves. You have to try to keep yourself as best looking as possible. Obviously, your personality has a lot to do with it as well, but like, you do need to take care of yourself. Not only just to get the guy that you want, but also to feel better about yourselves, because that's where the confidence comes from. And confidence is everything. So now that I've finished ranting off about that, thank you ladies so much for listening. And yeah, definitely, if there's anything that I can work on, anything that you wish I would have mentioned more, or things that you think in general I should talk about, definitely let me know. I'm so happy to finally be like, just in general, to be back. I haven't been very active on Instagram or YouTube. So I just really wanted to make this video because I've talked to some women about this. We've had a little bit of like debate groups, and I decided to make my own video. You don't have to agree 100% with what I'm saying, but in general, I'm happy that you even listened to it. And if you want to add in something that you agree with, don't agree with, I'm happy to listen to that too. And yeah, love you all.